I'm Rob Wilson, president of Employco USA. Thanks for joining our HR chat. With me is Jason Eisnet, our vice president of HR.
Hi, everyone.
So this week's topic is what to expect as an employer or as a business with President Biden's first 100 days in the White House. So it's a pretty lively topic these days, Jason.
Yeah, we're seeing already some kind of executive orders in place, and we're also with some pretty decent confidence what we're going to expect from President Biden over the next 100 days, his first few years in office, and kind of what we'll expect and how it'll affect employers.
Yeah, when you look at the first, just the first 10, 12 days in office, he's already had 28 executive orders overturning a lot of what President Trump did during his term before even, sending a budget or any information to Congress. So it's kind of set the tone of what to expect. In a couple of big areas that we've been looking at is OSHA, for example. He brought in a new team at OSHA. I think you're going to see a bigger crackdown on from OSHA standpoint on employers. So I think you're going to see a lot of changes there. So from an OSHA standpoint, expect more fines, more visits, more oversight from OSHA.
Yeah, same thing on the EEOC and NLRB. There's new heads of each agency. For the NLRB, I think we're going to have a very pro-union kind of increasing the ability for unions or employees to organize some of their efforts. So I think over the next few years, we're going to see more union activity and more protections for workers based on race, religion, gender, national origin, disability, those characteristics.
You know, when you look at the Affordable Care Act, you're seeing him. He's actually asked the Supreme Court to delay any of the hearings that they're due to take up on President Trump's prior actions, and a couple of his executive orders are the goal is to reopen and expand the Affordable Care Act. So I think you're going to see a big movement, and with his support with the Democratic Senate and House, I think you're going to see more and more movement on ACA.
Yeah, and along the lines of the healthcare, I think we're expecting him to President Biden to have a big push towards paid sick leave. So right now, employees who work for companies that have over 50 employees have FMLA coverage. That's job protection, but it's unpaid time off. So what we expect is that they're going to have a big push for federally mandated paid sick leave, possibly the same duration, the same 12 weeks as FMLA, but we'll see how far that gets in kind of the Congress. We'll see.
And then a huge topic for employers is minimum wage. His goal is to raise minimum wage to $15 an hour, which would be a pretty significant increase across the entire country. A lot of cities and states have already raised, but there hasn't been any movement on the federal side. So that would have a huge impact on hundreds of thousands of small businesses across the country.
Yeah, there's even been discussion about the new minimum wage removing any offsets for tipped workers or people with disabilities. So our friends in the restaurant industry, if tips are no longer excluded from minimum wage or an offset, we'll have to see what that industry looks like in a few years. If $15 is the minimum wage for everybody and tips would be on top of that, we'll see. And
some groups that have already done an analysis of that, they're saying that you'll lose 3 million jobs if you move it all the way up to $15. So it's going to be a big topic over the first 100 days as well as the first couple of years of the Biden administration.
And then if the minimum wage does get increased, there's a good chance that they'll also take a look at the overtime threshold. So right now, there's a certain threshold for workers to automatically be classified as non-exempt, being eligible for overtime. Right now, it's around 35,000. With the Obama administration, it was going to be around 47,000. It might end up being somewhere in the middle, maybe 40, 42, 43,000, or indexed to the cost of inflation. But we expect kind of that to be a priority for the Biden administration also.
Right, and people, you don't really hear much of it, but under the Trump administration, he did raise it, from what it was prior to him coming into office. But we expect it to go higher with President Biden.
Yeah, good point.
So we try and keep these short and to the point, and we appreciate you joining us. If you have any HR questions, feel free to reach out to Jason or myself at hr@employco.com, or check us out on any social media with whether Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. So appreciate you joining us. Happy to answer any questions if you ever need any assistance.
Thank you, everyone.